All right, hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to tackle a topic that honestly can feel pretty daunting. Life insurance, especially after going through something like ovarian cancer.
Yeah, for sure.
We're using some great info from Diversified insurance brokers. They really specialize in this.
Right.
So hopefully by the end of this, you'll feel, a bit more equipped to handle this whole life insurance thing.
Absolutely.
Because it's out there, there are options.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, even with a history of ovarian cancer, to find good life insurance options. Like, it's not a dead end, which I think a lot of people might initially think.
That is really good to hear. So they talk a lot about stage and grade and how crucial that is in the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Can you maybe give us an example of how that plays out? Like, say, someone diagnosed at stage 1A versus someone diagnosed at stage 3C, how different would their experiences likely be?
Well, it's a good question because it really highlights the difference. So, someone diagnosed at stage 1A, especially if they've had a few years of remission, they might actually be looking at standard rates, surprisingly.
Wow, okay.
But for someone diagnosed at 3C, it gets a bit more complicated. They might still qualify for coverage, but it's more likely to be a specialized policy,
Gotcha.
potentially higher premiums, things like that.
Okay. So it sounds like the time since remission also plays a pretty big role. I mean, I'm guessing the longer someone is cancer-free, the better their chances of getting a decent rate. But what about those who are still, relatively early in their recovery? What should they be prepared for?
Yeah, time definitely plays a huge role, for sure. The longer the remission, the better the outlook, generally.
Right.
But even for those who are early on, I mean, there is still hope, It's about managing expectations, I think. They might not get the most ideal rates right off the bat, but there are definitely options available. And as their remission time increases, they can always reassess, Potentially get a better deal down the line. It's all about taking things one step at a time.
That makes a lot of sense. I've heard people say that once you've had cancer, getting good life insurance is almost impossible. Is that just a myth?
Yeah, it's a total myth. There are challenges, for sure.
Right.
It's not as easy as, filling out a quick online form or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the right guidance, a bit of patience, it's definitely achievable. And it's important to remember that insurance companies are looking at a bunch of factors, not just your diagnosis.
Right. So it's not just about the cancer itself, but your overall health picture, right?
Right.
Does that mean maintaining a healthy lifestyle after treatment is even more crucial in this context?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Think of it like, I don't know, like putting deposits in your insurability bank, right? Every healthy habit you adopt, every positive step you take, it all adds up.
I like that.
You're basically showing insurers that you're actively managing your health, which can really translate into more favorable terms when it comes to life insurance.
That's a great analogy. It makes it seem a lot less, I don't know, abstract.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the types of policies. This is where I personally start to zone out a bit.
Sure.
Diversified Insurance Brokers talks about three main categories: fully underwritten, simplified issue, and guaranteed issue.
Right.
Can you break those down for us, starting with, like, what even is underwriting? It sounds kind of scary.
Yeah, no, it's not as intimidating as it might sound. Underwriting is basically how insurance companies figure out your level of risk.
Okay,
They gather information about your health, lifestyle, that kind of stuff to determine, your premium and whether to offer you coverage in the first place. Think of it like a background check, but for your health. It's there to protect both you and the insurers, make sure everything is fair.
gotcha. So fully underwritten policies, those probably involve the most, like, deep dive into your medical history, right?
They do, yeah. They offer the most competitive rates, but they also require a medical exam. It's really the gold standard for people who are in excellent health and are comfortable with that level of scrutiny, I guess.
Makes sense. And then there's simplify issue, which, I mean, it sounds like a good middle ground, right? If you're okay answering some health questions, but maybe not keen on a full medical exam, what's the downside there? Like, are the rates significantly higher?
Yeah, simplified issue is a great option for a lot of people, I think. You'll still need to provide some health info, but it's way less intense than a full medical exam. And the rates might be a bit higher than fully underwritten policies, but usually still very competitive.
Okay, good to know. And finally, we have guaranteed issue. This one sounds like, a real safety net for those who might have been turned down by other companies. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like the no questions option. You're guaranteed coverage regardless of your health history. The trade-off is that, well, premiums tend to be higher.
Right.
And there might be a waiting period before the full death benefit kicks in, often 2 years or so. But for some people, that guaranteed peace of mind is, it's really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely, especially after everything else.
Exactly.
Now, Diversified Insurance Brokers really emphasizes working with an experienced broker. Why is that so crucial, especially in this situation?
It's honestly one of the best things you can do, in my opinion. A good broker is like having a personal shopper for life insurance. They know all the different policies, the carriers, they can do the legwork for you, they compare quotes, negotiate terms on your behalf, basically guide you through the whole thing. And they can be especially helpful when you have a pre-existing condition like ovarian cancer,
Right.
because they know which companies are more likely to be understanding and offer you the best value for your situation.
So it's like having an advocate in your corner,
Exactly.
someone who gets it.
Yeah, and that brings us to, I think, the biggest takeaway for our listeners today. Getting life insurance after ovarian cancer is doable. It's not impossible. It's about understanding your options, asking the right questions, and having the right support system.
Couldn't agree more. So here's a thought for everyone listening. Imagine you're sitting down with a life insurance broker. What are the three most important questions you'd ask them to make sure you're getting the coverage that's right for you?
That's a great question to think about. And remember, finding the right life insurance policy is a big decision, but you don't have to go it alone. There are resources and people out there to help you every step of the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for joining us today.
absolutely. My pleasure.
And everyone listening, we'll catch you on the